welcome to the Life Happens podcast. I am your amazing Grace. Yes, I am amazing Grace. I'm your amazing host, Grace. And I am excited every week when we talk about different topics, but this one especially because I'm sick of y'all. Not y'all, but y'all out in the streets. Anyway, hey Brian. Hey Felicia.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
How was the week, guys? Before we dive into this, I am y'all. Anyway, how was your week? How was it Thanksgiving?
Great.
Unlike Brian, I ate a lot.
What but I know you cook, right? You always do the cooking.
Who, Kim?
Yeah. Not the cooking, but the baking. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I made a mistake.
I did make some. I made a pecan pie and cherry crunch pie and apple turnovers, chocolate cake.
Kim, why are you sounding like that? Like,
I have a really bad sore throat. Sorry, guys.
I'm sorry.
Quick stop.
Oh my gosh. And what
But
about
I didn't want to disappoint the people.
No, because I was really in full blown panic mode, y'all. Because okay, let me tell you what happened, right? So when I was at the office, I connected my Mac to my hotspot. So when I came home, I thought the internet was down, and I'm looking at Google's, and I'm like, shit, I can't get this to work. And then one of the suggestions like turn the computer off. So I turned it off, and when I turned it back on, it was like, hallelujah. Like I was in church, but I was panicking. I text Ben. It was like so. Anyway, and then I left all my research at the office. I don't know what was I thinking about. But my Thanksgiving was great. I had family come from South Africa, and we had like an American, South African traditional, Thanksgiving. So that was nice. I felt so Zulu, y'all. I knew he was going to say something. I felt like a Zulu woman and an Indian woman with all this food, but it was fun though. So. What about you, Felicia?
It was good. I ate a lot, like Kim. I actually made dressing this year just for my household. It was actually really good. It's my mom's recipe. It was like
her mom.
Really
her mom makes the best dressing ever.
Ever. That's why I don't like making it because I don't want to be compared to. But my husband said, "You got it. That you got it." But I used her recipe. So yeah, I was proud of myself for that, and I didn't eat that many sweets, and I'm proud about that as well. So it's good.
Can't say the same. Can't say the same. Don't say one word. Anybody wants to talk about what I ate? Say nothing. No one word. Okay, guys. So, let's. Hey, CJ.
Hey, CJ.
And then we have Hey Girl. Hey.
Hey, Keisha.
Hey, Keisha.
So, okay, I'm excited about this topic. I know you guys read the scenario about the person that wrote in love bombing. So, have any of you guys, before we ask you, has anybody been love bombed? Have you ever experienced it in its fullness? Really?
Not like her.
What about you, Brian? Have you ever been love bombed? Or have you ever did the love bombing?
No, not at that level. Probably when I was younger, when I was in my early 20s. Yeah, but no, not especially nowhere near that level.
No.
Okay, so I want to read what love bombing is, the definition, right? Love bombing is the action or practice of lavishing someone with attention or affection, especially in order to influence or manipulate them. So this started in the 1970s. When they all talking about cults, right? So this term was developed from the 1970s. So CJ asked, what does that mean? CJ, let me give you an example. So I've been love bombed before. Actually, I've been love bombed a lot, but they try to love bomb you with gifts. They think you're the best thing since sliced bread. They want to marry you immediately. They want you to have all their babies. Okay, it is insane. And in my experience, it's very uncomfortable because it doesn't make sense. You just met me. Why do you want to financially take care of me? Why do you want to play a role of somebody that you're not that person? So basically, to me, I think sometimes men want to be used, but then there's a flip side to that, right? yeah, they want to be used, but at the same time, they want something from you. And I tell women all the time, people are having sex to pay phone bills, to pay the electric bills, to pay all these things. And to me, that is insane. I always say that the best problem to ever have is if you need to pay for something because you can make money. Okay? It's not like you have a freaking disease. But love bombing is freaking out of control. Let's see what CJ is saying. Sounds like a man that's getting straight to the point. I'm just saying. No, he's not getting straight to the point, CJ. He is not. Because
Read the scenario.
oh, okay. Because he is trying to buy your coochie. That's what it sounds like to me.
Basically.
But right. Okay. So when I who wants to read it besides me? Nobody?
Oh, I don't have my laptop by me.
Okay, so I'll start. I'll read it. So this person's writing in, and it's a woman. She says, I wasn't going to say anything, but the last date I went on was actually a first date. We flew out to Chicago. He covered all the expenses. He sent me $100 for food at the airport. I probably had Starbucks, LOL. The night before the date, he bought and picked out 3 dresses for me because he wanted me to have options. We went to a magic show first. Then we had candlelit dinner at a high-end restaurant. The deposit was $200. He surprised me with a personalized menu, congratulating me on the new business. So sweet, she says. We had a 5-course meal, shared a bottle of white wine, and laughed the entire night. We also tipped the waiter $200. It was really a beautiful night, and the next day we flew back to our cities. He wanted, if he wanted to, he would, unless he can't. Then, anyways, free my girls from the bare minimum. Woo! Jesus. So it reminded me of something recently. Yes, there's those stonies and nates around you. If you see it, if you see, set it off, and you know what I'm talking about. Now,
Exactly.
very recently, okay, I met this guy, and but we never met in person because from the beginning he asked me to go on a trip with him. First of all, I'm not going to go on a trip with a stranger. I'm not. I don't know. You could be a killer. I don't know. You could be Dharma. You could want to eat me, like literally eat my flesh. I don't know this, but he promised clothes. You can stay in your own hotel. It was something happening in Alabama and all that stuff. And before he could even let the writing go cold, I blocked his ass because I thought it was too much. Like, you don't know me. What do you really want from me? Okay. So there's this phrase going around. Ladies, if he wanted to, he would. Okay. I'm gonna start with Felicia. What do you think about this scenario, sister?
First of all, it's definitely a love bomb because to me, and this is just from personal experience, when you start talking about how much he tipped the waiter, how much the dinner was, how much the reservation was, as a woman, I never know those things. If a man is taking you out, those are things you don't know. I don't see the bill. I don't see how much he's tipping. So that in itself is letting me know. He's letting her know, look what I'm spending on you.
Right.
Look what I'm paying out. I'm not being cheap with you, and picking out my clothes is a bit much. It kind of creeps me out a little bit.
Control.
It's just really creepy. It's kind of, yeah, if it was my man and he was doing this, then yeah, I would be okay with it. But like a stranger I don't know, that's scary. I think that's a really scary scenario.
So I want to just add to this because I'm reading something right now. It says love bombing signs, right? So before we get into this, so somebody that love bombs, they want to know everything about you right away. They share their personal details too quickly. Need constant validation. Now, hold on. Before I even read this list, I want to go back to number 2. Y'all. I met somebody one time, right? So we were FaceTiming. And the first conversation I had with this man, he started telling me about his mother and how his mother was awful. And he actually had tears. Like, he was almost damn near crying, right?
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God. Like, I felt so bad for him. But then as it continued, he started wanting to come because he wasn't local. He wanted to come to Dallas. And I was like, why would you come to Dallas? Like, why would you just want to come like that? But anyway, so need constant validation, intense declarations of love. Yeah, he told me he loved me. I was like, Negro, bye. pressuring you to commit, saying all the right things, intense clinginess, over the top expensive gift, immense jealousy when you're with someone else, things feel off, sudden coldness or withdrawal. So I noticed that with love bombing, there's this hot cold that goes with it, and most people that love bomb are narcissists because it's just about control. So Kim, what are your thoughts, sister?
Oh, well, I don't know. I think red flags should just go up with women whenever they when that kind of thing starts to happening. It should go a red flag off in your brain and say, wait a minute. Now you're spending all this money, you don't know me, you're saying you love me, you're doing all these things. Something is up. I think a red flag should go off. I just
You
do.
let me read this comment. Keisha says, I gotta disagree with you on that, Grace. If that lady gonna sell a little ass for some money, go for it. Hell, it may be worth it. Men do it all the time at the strip clubs. You'll just get a happy end. Girl, I ain't agreeing with that. Not for no, you know what? Not for no damn cell phone or even a mortgage. Anything, y'all, anything that money can solve is not a big problem. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna get money from somebody. I ain't selling my. Anyway, I'm not doing all that. CJ says, "Quit talking about my uncle or that Robbie. I thought they were supposed to stay between me and you. Who's your bye? Who's your uncle? Who's your uncle?" He just says, "Tell me what you're spending. That determines if she'll settle up. Put on the boots and hats and ride that thing, girl. Bye, bye."
No.
Hey, Mr. Jones, what are your thoughts?
Look, I mean, Keisha does have a point. There are women out there who know the deal and they're willing to say, well, shoot, I will take all of this in exchange for what he wants. And I mean, they have to be willing to come like own it. Whatever happens after that, she has to own it because the mission is clear from the guy. There is there's no guy there's no man who's going to do that fast without an agenda, right? And odds are the agenda is sex, and that equals that comes with control, that comes with insecurities, that comes with probably some type of abuse, right? It comes with all of these red flags, and there are women out there who will take all of that just to go on social media and say, "Ooh, look what he got me," or tell her friends that, "Oh, my man just got me this new $2,000 purse." The relevancy to some women is worth it because of what they have experienced in the past, and they're like, "Screw it! If I'm gonna meet these no good dudes and not get anything out of it, I might as well meet this no good dude and get a whole bunch out of it, right?" So, I mean, the men do this because it has worked one time, right? So it's not like men don't care if they get rejected. If they try to holler at 25 women in this method and get only one yes, you know what? That yes is worth it. So they will do whatever they do with that one yes for the X amount of time that she allows it, or he wants to do it to somebody else. And then he goes and tries to do it with 25 more women. And as long as he gets one yes, the percentages don't matter, you know? So,
Yeah.
but of course, in this scenario, she's not only trying to be relevant. We don't, if we don't know that she's trying to just sell her coochie with this. We don't know, but what we do know is that she's trying to be relevant, and she's trying to push this in someone else's face by saying, if someone won't, I mean, or what one won't, one will, or whatever she said. She's thinking about about her past, and she's trying to uh and the word's not relegate, but she's trying to, I guess, make up for it, or she's trying to show off and say, "Hi, look what this guy's doing for me," so and so and so and so. But the bad part about that is she's also setting up a tier on what's next. Like if she gets through messing with this guy, all of the guys that are watching this, right? Because she's obviously putting it out there to be seen. All of the guys that are watching this are going to think that is the way to get her by, flying her out, by doing this and by buying her gifts early and by doing it. So if old boy If I can do it better than old boy, then I can get her too. So, she may be playing it, she may be playing that type of game, but regardless, this game comes with some things that women aren't prepared to handle. Because if a man wants to get controlling, if a man wants to get insecure, if a man wants to trade all of these gifts and things for and the trade off is you give me sex and things like that, they're not ready to handle all of the scary things that come with the anxiety and the depression that's attached along after it's all. It's a bad situation. It's a bad situation. And I'm not saying all women, I'm just saying most women in this scenario, they cry wolf after that when they saw these freaking red flags in the beginning.
Okay, but you know what? I'm just thinking as you're talking, it's like, I don't understand from a man, now you're a man's perspective, why would men want to spend all their money just to have, I mean, I don't get it. So
because it's the quick way. It's the quick way.
But you spending money is time, right? Time is money. So
no.
But hold on. Listen to my man. This is what I'm thinking. Let me finish, sir. So I meet you, right? Say you the woman. I meet you and I take you out and I'm buying you, okay? And then I have sex with you. Then 2 weeks later, why would you do? I don't understand. What is the point? Why?
You don't understand because you're always the receiver, right? You're the one who's receiving all the time. Men are the ones who are actively going and doing. So we make our money from Monday through Friday, or well, however you make your money. I'm not saying no specific sexual, but you make our money, and then they go, I'm willing to spend this X amount of money, whatever this X amount of money is, to fulfill this lustful desire or this controlling desire that I have. That money ain't diddly squat compared to fulfilling that temporary pleasure, right? And people fulfill temporary pleasures all the time. Like someone mentioned earlier, going to the strip club. Men drop thousands and thousands of dollars in the strip club just to feel on a booty that they can't take to the crib unless they pay extra for it. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not spending that type of money on nobody like not no stripper. But there are men who do that and they validate, my lustful desire of slapping, half naked booties all night and maybe taking one home is worth this 1,000 or 2,000 or 500 or however much money it is. So the sex is worth it. If I can buy you and I can get sex from it, and then I can continue to buy you and I can have my arm candy. I can have a person I can control and manipulate, and whatever the case may be, it's totally worth it. They think they're justified.
Let me read some comments. And I understand what you're saying because it's really all about what they're getting.
Before you read the comments, here's a perfect example. Have you ever bought an expensive pair of shoes or a purse? Like, and I'm talking about expensive. I'm talking about like $600, $800, $1,000 or something like that. Have you ever bought?
No,
okay.
I didn't spend no.
Okay, well, we know all guys are trying to spend money on you.
But I wouldn't take a gift that costs that much from men because I always think you want something. Because I've been into that in my experiences. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm trying to relate the desire. People spend an outrageous amount of money on whatever they think is validation for them to spend. If you want a purse that is $1,000, there's someone who goes, I ain't paying $1,000 for that no purse. I'm paying maximum $100. There are people who pay $2,000 for a pair of jeans, but whatever pleasure they are fulfilling by spending that outrageous amount of money on something materialistic is the exact same pleasure that a man spends on flying a girl out, paying for a $200 meal that's got a $200 deposit. He gives a $200 tip. All of that stuff may be equal out to $1,200. And if I can bang that night, boom, it's the same thing as you carrying that $2,000 purse on your arm.
Let me read these comments because Jesus, I'm not, no. Kim says, Kim, red flags, these. T-Pain said, if it ain't about the money, I don't know the song. Don't be hitting me up. I do not know. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know the song. Keisha says, thanks, Brian. That's all I'm saying. Some of these garden tools be trying to get the paper. I'm just saying. Ooh, child. Honestly speaking, damn near 80% of women have done that or had a whole booty call, whole phase, and have gotten paid for it. Oh, okay. Talk about it, Mr. Jones. Keisha, that's what T.I. Keisha, that's T.I. Get your rappers right. Oh, I don't know. So let's go back to the scenario. What you said was so true, Felicia. She kept mentioning the monies that he spent. That's because he probably mentioned the monies that he was spending. It would have been so freaking irritating. Tell me something. He said a man that flashes all the time. He said that type of man, the only thing he has is what you can see. He don't have shit, basically, what my brother told me.
Right.
And I think sometimes men do too much because at the end of the day, if say you want this woman and you keep love bombing her and you end up with her, are you going to be able to maintain that lifestyle? Most likely not. But also, most likely, somebody that's love bombing is not looking for a relationship or wife or whatever. I think, like Brian was saying, it's on to the next. Oops, that's what I meant, CJ. So also in the and by the way, Kim left because she wasn't feeling good. So he sends her food, $100 at the airport for food. And the night before that, the date, he bought and picked out 3 dresses because he wanted her to have options. She never said that he contacted her and asked her what did she like. So when Brian was talking about control, it made me think about narcissism because that's what narcissists do. There's a guy on TikTok that I follow, and he said he's a former narcissist, and he talks about, you know what I'm talking
about? I follow him too.
Yeah, he talks about how he gets women and that he goes for weak women. Now, would it be safe to say that most people that fall into love bombing are weak? What do you guys think?
No. I've had friends that have been love bombed. They're very aware what time it is. They're very aware what this person wants, but they have an agenda as well. So I don't think that they're weak people. Now, sometimes they are. Like when you said you start getting into those narcissistic characteristics, but they also, the people that I've known that have been in these situations, they also know when to get out. They're like, okay, he acting too crazy now. It's time for me to go. It's not worth it. The money is not worth it. But it seems like those type of relationships always end bad because the money, like Brian said, is a tool to control you. You know, where you at? Where your phone? Why you didn't answer your phone? Where you been? Da, 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 da. And then they'll let you know, I pay your phone bill. I pay your house note. I do this. I do that. I'm the one. You need to answer the phone when I call. So yeah, it becomes like where they get kind of crazy. But I think the women, not all, but some are fully aware of what's going on or what time it is.
Now, Keisha makes a valid point. She says, thing is, I believe you have to get into it with your gangster mentality. You can't have any feelings. If you get love bombed, it's all your fault. I agree. If you're going to do it, do it.
Right.
And you probably need to do it with multiple people, not to develop feelings, for one.
Yeah, but not to the ones who are on the opposite side, because like you asked Felicia, are they all weak? No, but they're not all strong either. It's okay. I think I've said this before. You can go into a club or a bar and know what person you can probably have sex with that night, right? And it's the same thing with this. Men know which woman they can manipulate and seduce with all their financial, trickeries and tricking and all that type of stuff. Because a lot of times y'all tell us, like social media is a perfect example. Social media is either a reflection of exactly who you are or an extension of who you want to be, right? And a lot of people give men clues. Like y'all think these love bombing dudes are just like random guys that's IQ is super low. Hell no. They pay attention, right? And if you're posting things that have to do about money, if you're posting stuff like, oh, send her cash up her $600 because she's not having a good day and stuff like that. If you're posting materialistic BS all the time and stuff about money all the time and trying to throw little secret hints,
I saw this one girl. She was like, "Oh, I wish I could just go. I wish I could just get dressed up and go on a luxury date, high in the sky at one of those restaurants, like on the 50th floor." And of course, dudes flooded her inbox right after that. She just sent out a bat signal, and people responded. Well, some of those responses are from dudes who have been paying attention, going, "Oh, she want this, she want that." That's why most women, when they get approached by men always say, "I want to take you out. I want to show you a good time. I want to get you this. I want to get you that. I want to blah blah blah." And it's always something lavish. Oh, I want to take you to Ruth's Chris, and I want to do this, and because the more lavish we think that the more lavish it is, the more y'all accept it. However, y'all are giving us clues. Women are showing, hey, we want the lavish stuff. We want to be wined and dined. We want to go to a restaurant where the drinks come out and they get caught on fire and they cost $50 a bottle. It's such a BS game back and forth. So yeah, some women are strong enough to go in it with, "Oh, I know what the game is, and I'm about to play this game, and I'm gonna catch you before you catch me." And then some women are just, "Oh, okay, I'm just gonna throw this ditzy mode out here," and then they get caught up in all of the BS and caught up in all of the euphoria of it, and then by the time they know it, they're in too far and they're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to say this. When you're talking, Brian, I thought it sounds like a predator. Really?
I mean, that's exactly what it is.
It's just like, and it sounds like a narcissist. Now, I'm not, I hate, and I've said this before, I hate the way women throw around the word narcissist so loosely, and we call men narcissists, even if the man simply is not attracted to you, doesn't want you, and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about full-blown narcissism, okay? Let me read some comments. CJ says, "Love bombing and tricking sound about the same." It really does, doesn't it? Facebook user says, "Players for real." I don't know who that is. Keisha said, "Some dudes don't care. They just want you to be available when they want you to be, if they're doing things like that for you." That's true.
I have to disagree. Love bombing and tricking are not the same.
How come?
Love bombing, the guy is really like on an agenda. He's on a path. Like Brian said, he's researching. He's doing his homework. He's on a path. Tricking is a guy really want to be with you, and you're telling him. To me, it's more on the woman. I need this. I need you to buy me this. I need you to buy me that. I need you to do this for me, and he's giving her the money. So she's asking for it. But love bombing, he's strategically planning things out. So I think it's a little different.
Okay, when
no, she's got a good point. That's a good point.
You said that. Okay, I get it now. CJ says, "Right, Brian, and then be mad when we do exactly what you ladies wanted."
That's a great point. Don't get caught up in the love bombing, and then all of a sudden go through months or years worth of crazy torture, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all that. And then when you come out of it, you start blaming men, and you start talking about how men ain't this and all da. No, it's your fault. You saw it coming. You were in it. You were allowing it. That ain't the man. The man was just being the man, or that particular man was just being that particular man. And you knew that from jump. So like y'all said, I'm not a woman, but that would be scary as hell for me. If I were a woman and I walked in, first of all, let's talk about how he flew her, or they flew to a destination, and they lived in other cities. Right. So this wasn't something that you could drive 1 or 2 hours to get to, right?
Hold on.
And
we flew, so they went together. But then, okay, so when he sent her the $100 for food, that probably means before they went.
No, they went on 2 different flights. Why would I need to give you $100 for some food at an airport if I'm there?
Because he wants her booty, so he's trying to really
I can just order it for you.
That's what she's. I don't know, because to me it's not clear whether they went together.
But at the end of the scenario, she said we flew back to our different cities. Is that right?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean they flew in this. I mean, it sounds like he lives somewhere else and she lives somewhere else.
Exactly. So they met in Chicago on 2 different flights, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, forget the $100 for the food at the airport, yada yada. If I was a woman and I walked into a hotel and there are 3 different dresses in the hotel room for me, that means he got the key. You know what I'm saying? And then, they may have slept in the same room. I don't know, but unless it's said. But that means he's done he's asked good questions. He's like, what's your size? What kind of dress do you like? This and that and this and that and this and that. What colors do you like? He has done some pinpointed, accurate questioning that she may or may not have known about. And he's got her dresses. Now, mind you, she may take them all back home or he may return them. I don't know what the case may be, but that alone is a scary situation. Right? That is a red flag out of this world. And I ain't even no woman. That's a red flag for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we gotta read this comment. CJ says, I feel like we're damned if we are and we're damned if we're not. If we start paying for too much, then women automatically assume you're trying to take control or we're doing too much. If I wasn't paying for shit, then I'm a broke ass nigga all of a sudden. See, there's a way to do things, right?
Yeah, not in this case.
First of all, it has to be not in this case. I'm talking about.
This is complete love bombing.
Yeah, this is love bombing. But there's a way to do things. I mean, it has to be organic and it has to take its natural course for me. Because this honestly, when this guy would have mentioned flying me out somewhere, that shit would never happen. No, I'm sorry. Or I don't like when people want to come, even if they live another place, come here quickly to see me. I don't like that. Because I like to take things slow, so I want to get to know you first, right? And then I need to get a sense, because I always say when it comes to emotional things, I need to take my time. And I do that on purpose. That's why if I was her, I would have blocked him. I would have ghosted him. There's some people you can ghost and some people you can't ghost, really, I think. So I just want to say this. There are some examples of what love bombing, what they may say. They say, you're my soulmate. You're the perfect man or woman. We soulmates. You complete me. I've never met anyone like you. I'll never meet anybody like you. Baby, bye. I'll be like, boy, you haven't even heard this mouth for real. You just seen the representative. Don't play.
I haven't been love bombed, but I did date this guy in college. He was 30. So that was a big deal to me. And I was 19, not realizing, being dumb. And he gave me a credit card.
Did you use it, sis?
Yes. When his name on it, he gave me a credit card. And he was like, I know you're in school, whatever. And he lived, I lived in Lubbock and he lived in Waco. So, wacko. So, So I started using the card. I was like, I would call him and say, well, I need so and so and so. He said, well, use the card. You're good. And I would spend and I would be really modest about it. But it was a point of control. It became controlling. He would say, well, I got the bill this month. So when I call, you make sure you answer.
Oh, no.
Then it started being very, very, very controlling to the point where I said, you know what? I cut the card up. Don't call me anymore. He was like, no, that's not going to happen. And he actually drove to Lubbock to get me.
Oh, no.
And now I can laugh about it. But back then I was like, for real? And I was like, it's now, even as an adult, I'm like, it was like $130. Like, seriously? You driving all the way to Lubbock?
He was crazy.
He was crazy. I mean, he just started getting crazy. Like, you don't love me like I love you. You don't want me. You just want to use me. Like, I didn't ask you for this car, dude. You just gave it to me,
The time you're right, sir. Kim is the Facebook user. She said, women are getting scammed by love bombing. Well, yeah, I don't know. I think after just talking about it, I think they know what's up and then they get caught up. That's what it is.
There's no such thing as getting caught up. You know what's up. That means you're playing the game too. Yeah. Like you can't get caught up if you see it coming. That's kind of like, that. So I mean, if you didn't mean it like that, my bad. But yeah, that's the sentiment that women do. They go, They know full force. It's almost like, I mean, I've said this before in this podcast. Women have an ultimate amount of discernment and intuition. They see the no good dude coming a mile away, then they turn the intuition into discernment right off, get into the BS, try to change the man. It doesn't work, and after X amount of time, they play victim. What are you talking about? You're the one who touched the hot plate.
Yeah.
The hot plate. The fire is under the skillet. You can see it. It's a blue flame and a red flame. It's the hottest flame that you can get, and you still touched it. It's your fault.
Sometimes we do that, man.
Sometimes they love bomb you with nothing. I had a guy buy me a drink at the bar, and I was his girlfriend. I bought you a drink. Where you going? Why you dancing with him? I bought you a drink. Like, dude, really? So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bunch of money. Sometimes some people take those little things and they think we're together now. You know, we're in love now.
Yeah, and that was probably right around the time where T-Pain came out with that stupid song that everybody fell for.
Okay, I need to read this comment. I had a dude ask me, this is Keisha, to be his lover a few years ago. He offered to pay for my youngest daughter's high school fees and for all 4 years and every bill I had. I almost went for it too. Girl, was he cute though? But was he cute? I'm just kidding. CJ says, but who's really at fault? The men offering or the woman accepting? It's like some women want the benefit, but the moment they know it goes left, then all of a sudden it's a different story. You wasn't crying or nothing when you was getting all those free perks.
Well, it's both. It's both. So it's both. So if a prostitute with an STD came to me and said, "You don't have to pay for it. I'll give it to you right now," and whether I protected myself or not, I got an STD. I got some type of disease from her having sex. It's not necessarily her fault because she offered, and it's both. It's my fault for taking, and it's her fault for. So for women, I say this all the time. A lot of women cannot they can't control what type of guy approaches them, but they can control what type of guy they entertain, right? So if I know women who show half their ass on every picture and every post that they make, and they attract that type of dude. And I know women who don't even show anything on posts, and they still attract that same type of dude. Well, but which one? I mean, what type of dude are you entertaining? So it's both. If you know a guy is coming at with you with all these love bomb tactics, he's doing what he's doing. Now, are you entertaining it? If you entertaining it, then it's your fault. You know what I'm saying? It's his fault for doing it. It's your fault for accepting it, but he's only doing it because it's worked before.
Oh, Jesus. Keisha said he wasn't cute, but he had good intentions. And CJ said, Keisha, that was my uncle. Oh my gosh. But have you guys ever received, Keisha, not Keisha, Felicia, have you ever received in your inbox on, I think it's a lot of times on IG, where these men come in wanting to be sugared, want you to be a sugar baby?
Yeah. And I'm married, and I make that very clear on most of my social media. I think I post everything. And it's like they'll say, "Hey, beautiful lady," and I always look at it as a scam. So I mean, I don't even entertain it. It's like, this is the scam. So I see it all the time, especially like on my Instagram, because I have so many followers. I have more followers on my Instagram. I always get some kind of,
right,
"Hey, pretty lady, I would like take you here and take you there." It's like, really? No.
Yes, especially from the great continent of Africa.
Yeah.
One that came in my inbox, and I, because I've been hearing my daughter tell me somebody else had contacted her, so I was going along with it just to see. And then they ask you for personal information, like your Cash App and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Where you live. So I asked him, like, what you want to give me $5,000 to do? What? No, I just want someone to talk to. Talk about what, sir? What we're gonna talk about? Like, I'm like, am I crazy to give you? But yeah, I mean, that's yeah. But this one that was trying to hit me up was from New York, but I knew he probably was actually from Nigeria, but pretending to be New York.
Right.
So I was like, send me a picture. Let me see what you look like. Oh, wait. He asked me to send him pictures. He was like, send me some pictures. I just want to see what you look like. But you on my freaking Instagram. What you mean you don't know what I look like? Pick a picture. Choose a picture. Damn picture. Okay. The invisible woman says, when you accept the friend request that will call you, like a friend request is like you, girl, why? And video call you. What the heck? What? Why? What? Why? Oh my God, that is so irritating. Like you just hit yes, accept, and boom, you're I'm like, and they're always African.
If I don't know you, I'm not accepting you. Period. If I have never met you before in my life, I'm not
nah, CJ. That came with the price. Nope. I said hell to the no. I thank you. I just go to work every day.
But I had a girlfriend that had a guy that I wouldn't say, well, he was a sugar daddy. And he paid, like she had a little baby and he paid all her bills. He did everything for her. And she just had to be a sugar baby and be quiet because he was a fully married man. And, you know, but he was able to really take care of her. But she knew what time it is. But I always see that those things always end bad. They always
end bad every freaking time.
Get together. Did she have to actually see me in person, or was it just an online relationship?
No, they had a relationship. This was back in the day. They had a relationship. Like
they were like relationship, like man and wife. Like, you know, oh no.
When he called, she had to be ready.
But like, even though
I got a free moment, she better be ready. Right.
She was the side chick.
Yeah, basically.
So okay, let's go back to the scenario. At the end, she says, "This is this phrase be irritating. If he wanted to, he would.
Yeah.
How about if he wanted to just be a nice guy? How about he was just a regular guy? Why does he have to buy all this stuff?
Because that's the mentality. Let me just be honest with you. I'll talk to my daughters who are like 24 and 19. The mentality of these young women are the aesthetics. Oh, you got to have like the right aesthetic. You got to have the right car. You got to have the right job. So it's all about the aesthetic for them. So in order to get that aesthetic, like, you know, the high dollar, you know, that they can't afford, that none of them can afford, but they like the look of that lifestyle. And even, you know, if you go on to TikTok, you see black girl luxury, the aesthetic, black girl aesthetic, where it's showing like, I got all this stuff, I'm living this life. And I told my daughter, have you noticed that most of them live in apartments?
Right.
Have you noticed that this girl don't even have a couch, but she got a Chanel bag? You know, so you kind of, it's the time that we're living in now. And I noticed that a lot of these young ladies will fall for the love bombing because of the aesthetic and that phrase at the end, if he could, he would. Like, if I'm gonna get a man, he's gonna buy this and he's gonna give me this lifestyle. It's all about the lifestyle. I'm gonna live this lifestyle. I'm gonna live this luxury lifestyle. I'm gonna have these luxury items. You know, nobody wants to work. Everybody wants to get paid. That's pretty much what it is.
But hey, it ain't just the youngins. It's women who are 30s and in their 40s too. Like, because that's what the movies and the music and all the entertainment says do. It says we are brainwashed into thinking that all of these wannabe thug, hardcore guys who bring you drama, but give you a lavish lifestyle is the way to go. Right. And also she's using that. If he could, he would, or whatever she says, that is a bad signal. She's either chunking that out to a guy she used to date, or that is a bad signal to other dudes. She's basically like a damsel in distress. It's like she threw out her slipper and she's waiting for someone to pick it up with that statement, because men like to see wounded women. They want to play savior. Like if a woman throws out something that it seems like a man can fix, or if a man, especially with money, something that's quick and easy. Oh, you know, girl, I got you. You know, he shouldn't even done you like that. You know, I can. If you want this, you want that. I got you. You know, and it's a really sad indictment. Like Chris Rock said something that's really profound. He said, only women and dogs are loved unconditionally. Yeah. And he said, men
are only loved if they can do something for you. And most women, especially the ones that Felicia talking about, the aesthetic ones, always start with like, well, what does he do? What does he have? Would you drive? What type of money he got? What type of house he got? It's always some superficial, materialistic BS because it rides off of relevance and trying to cope with all of this lack of self-esteem that they have, and then all of a sudden, you've got the persuasion from social media and all that type of stuff. It's absolutely annoying. It is annoying.
So let me read some comments. The Invisible Woman said, I accepted one guy's request and he said, you a whore. Married women shouldn't accept friend requests from men. He got blocked. Yes, he should. It's out of control that he would even say that. She also says, my mom taught me that if you don't want them, don't take their money. I still live by that.
That's good.
Gosh, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
That's so true. If you don't, my father died when I was young, right? And my mother's an entrepreneur. But I never saw my mother go with men to get money for anything. I always saw her working for that. And that's what she instilled in us, right? Growing up. Now, it's not to say that if you're not in a relationship, or if you are in a relationship, of course you accept gifts and then you give gifts as well. It's like, reciprocation, it goes both ways, right? But this is like, to me, she just takes. But at the same time, did he not offer? Well, the question now becomes, who's wrong? Are they both wrong? Is he wrong? Is she wrong for accepting it? I mean,
well, that was CJ's question. CJ's question was, who's to blame in this? And they both are. She knows what he's doing. She knows exactly what he's doing. So is he necessarily wrong for trying to love bomb? I wouldn't call that a sin. I wouldn't call that a sin that he's trying to love bomb, but his agenda and his deception is wrong, right? All of that is totally wrong, but she also sees it coming. Who cares if he offers? You're the dumb one that accepted it. So yes, you're wrong. So if that guy is that guy who offers you $5,000 wrong, it doesn't matter if he's wrong or right about it. All that matters if you accepted it or not. So you can't control what men do. You can control how or what you entertain.
mm.
So he's not wrong. I mean, because it's him, but he's wrong because of his agenda. And is she wrong for accepting it? No, not necessarily. But when things go sour, she's wrong in expecting something different because that's exactly what she's headed towards.
Right.
Have you ever been in a situation where maybe you seeing somebody or whatever, and it's not really like you've been out with them a couple of times, but you're not really sure if you want to commit, but they keep pressuring you to commit? Have you ever been in
Don't commit.
No,
you said pressure.
Pressure, but listen. But have you ever been in that situation?
Don't commit. I have literally heard that these last 3 or 4 weeks, speaking to people on the podcast. I have heard that from about 5 or 6 women. Oh, I got into the relationship because like he kept pressuring me, and it was like I really couldn't tell him no, and blah blah. I said, it's all your fault. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He pressured you. You can say no. It ain't like he overwhelmed you with his manpower, held you down, and forced you to be in a relationship.
Yeah, but emotionally got her.
No. That is BS. Y'all be using that as BS. Oh, he pressured me. You know the hell he didn't. You have all this other power somewhere else to tell other people no. You can tell him no the exact same way.
So I'm reading something right now, and it says love bombers often use this tactic to test that their partner won't leave. So what they do is they all relationships move on different timelines. However, if you feel continuously pressured to commit to something you aren't ready for, that should give you pause. So you may be right, but I may agree with you.
What is?
Love bombers often uses tactics to test that the partner won't leave.
Hey, real quick, I've got to actually run. Appreciate y'all having me on the podcast. Felicia, you have a good night. Robbie, you have a good night. Thank y'all. I'll see y'all later.
All right.
So, Felicia, have you ever been with a guy or dating before you're married and he was like intensely clinging? Just
yes.
clinging? How
Yeah,
did
he
how
was
did you do that?
just a friend. I had friend zoned him, but he just was not taking no for an answer. Like he would steady try to, well, we're such good friends. Friends make, have the best relationships, blah, blah, blah. And it was pressure there. And I did not want to lose him as a friend. But at some point I had to say, you know what? We can't be friends, because he couldn't handle, just being friends. He definitely wanted more, and he definitely was voicing wanting more, and it was a lot that went drama that went with that. But in the end, I had to tell him, no, we can't be in a relationship or friendship either. So
Yeah, sometimes you have to do that. You can't. Yeah. Keisha says, "Tell it, Mr. Jones. Pressure, child, please." But you have to think about where the person is emotionally. A lot of times, when you just get out of a relationship or marriage, that's when you're most vulnerable time. That's a time when you shouldn't say yes to anybody. And I
right.
noticed though, like on these dating sites, a lot of the men in their profile they say, "Well, I was married for such and such time," and they jump into a relationship. And you ask them, "Well, how long have you been divorced?" "Oh, it's been about a month." Baby, go and heal.
Yeah,
Go and
exactly.
heal. You were married for 2,000 years, son. You don't even know who you are
Hmm.
or what you really want.
Right.
So I see a lot of stuff like that where people just get out of these long relationships and then they're like, bam, somebody. But you know what? I noticed though, a lot of men that divorce, they actually move on faster than we do, meaning they jump into relationships.
But I think that has a lot to do, and I heard something about that. Men that want to be married or like being married want to be married. Because my dad, he's 70, and he had a friend, and his friend wife died. And like 3 months later, he was dating another woman. And my dad was like, are you ready? You okay? You ready to date? He's like, yeah, but I don't want to live the rest of these few years by myself alone. So
Mhm.
he went out and got into another relationship. So I mean, it's you know, had he healed from his wife dying of 30 years? Probably not. But it was just the fact that he didn't want to be by himself. Some people just, don't want to be alone.
I know, but like I'm just thinking about my journey, like after I was married, and I knew it was important for me to, like, find myself again.
Hmm.
Because, in fact, I was talking to a friend today, and she was married for a long time, not as long as me, but pretty long, over 14 years. And she said she's married now. She said that if she knew now, not that she doesn't love her husband, she does, and he's amazing, but she would have waited. She would have waited. She would have spent some time, because me and her were talking about dating, and she was like, "Well, are you ready to date?" And so we were having that conversation, and I was like, "I think I'm ready. I'm just not ready for. I mean, I don't mind going on dates, but I'm not ready for that committed yet, right? Meaning, like, I don't know. I wanna go out here and do my
Right.
thing. But and when I say do my thing, I mean go on dates and figure out a lot of stuff. And who knows? I may run into somebody. I don't know, but it's not my goal. And so I told her, I said, I don't go into on any date thinking, oh, this could be the one.
Right.
Because when you do that, you put so much pressure on yourself, on the person. It's like, because this is what I used to do before. I used to think, oh my gosh, could this be my husband? Girl, none of them were. And then this is the thing though. As you're healing too, you start changing. Your ideas change, what you want. Things that you put up with before, you ain't gonna do that shit no more. They're like, those days are gone, like over. And
Right.
then now back to the scenario though. This chick right here, do you think this relationship's gonna last?
No, I don't. I honestly don't. I think it's just gonna be one of those things. They doing too much too fast.
I
Too much.
know that's the thing. When you move like you freaking moving like something's gonna steal her, or steal him.
Mm-hmm. You're
It's
moving way too fast. What? Keisha's a mess.
not really grandpa. She said, Felicia, my grandpa do that too. There was the ugliest woman I ever met. Girl, come on now. That's your granny now. Quit playing. You see granny ugly?
But yeah, and I think age has a lot to do with it too. Like you get a divorce and you 60, 70, you ain't got time to be dating nobody for 6 years or 2 years. It's like, what we gonna do? We gonna be together or what? Because they're, and they're from a different time, where whereas we are from a different time and where our kids are from a different time. So it's like that time, like my dad, him and my mom been together for 50 years, you know, so would he want to be alone? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Mhm. Like I was reading this, let me find it to my phone. Oh God. This meme today, and it says, I want to be spoiled, but I have a bad habit of saying, no, I got it.
Yeah.
Like that's true, because I was just thinking, Keisha says, Grace, she's dead now. She was even I can't even finish the sentence. Girl, bye. I can't with you. Really? Um, yeah, I want to be spoiled, true. I do have a habit of saying no, I got it, because I always feel there's an agenda, and most times there is an agenda.
But all agendas aren't bad.
No, they're not. But see, when you know that you got to heal in certain areas and you got some trust issues, you know, oh yeah, I can't accept that, because, like, coming again culturally, I come from a background where it's so controlling. Everything's controlling what you wear, all this stuff. And I'm not even talking about marriage. I'm just talking culturally, right?
Right.
So even if I smell the smallest hint of control, baby, no, I'm gonna rise up like a falcon, and you're gonna get burnt, because I'm not gonna play with you. So I
Right.
always feel like when somebody does something for you, then they expect something in return. But that's a trauma response. It doesn't necessarily mean if somebody does something for you that they want something. You know what I mean? That's not always the case. But you know, now with these people talking about if he wanted to, he would. When I hear that term, I don't think about monetary things. I don't think about things like gifts and trips. I'm always thinking about emotional stuff. If he wanted to call you, if he wanted to check up on you, excuse me, stuff like that. Because a lot of times men or even women will say, well, I was busy, I couldn't text you today.
Mm-hmm.
You're a lie. Especially how people are on their phones nowadays.
Yep.
Not that busy. And even like when I think about relationships I've been in, like I was so naive. Like, girl, I was making excuses for them. Well, they weren't doing this because, well, maybe, like, really trying to analyze them instead of saying, wait a minute, what is your gut saying? Like, what,
Right.
the intuition that God has given you, what is that saying, sis? You knew this not going to work.
Right.
You knew it.
Right.
And then when it ends, it's like, freedom. Like, you feel such a peace. No, seriously, you feel such a peace that you never thought you would have. Like, you never thought. But then you realize what it really was. I mean, I guess we've all been in situations, and I feel for me, a lot of the stuff I've experienced is after like a certain age.
Mm-hmm.
When you reach, how old are you, Felicia?
I'm 50.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. I
No,
turned
you're-
July the 4th.
no, really.
Yes.
I am shook. Girl, you look good.
Thank you.
Okay, wait. You turning 50 or you are 50?
I'm 50. Like July the 4th, I was 50, born in 1972. I'm 50.
Why this whole time I didn't know? Oh, I thought you were younger than me.
No.
I swear I did. Oh
No.
my God.
Mm-mm.
My intuition said tomorrow isn't promised. Screw him today. Kisha, bye. Sister,
Oh, Lord. Keisha's a
screw
mess.
him today. Okay, any final thoughts?
Just look for the red flags, ladies. I mean, if it looks, everything that glitters is not gold. Just because it looks good, it sounds good, doesn't mean it is good,
It's normally, it is not. And you're so right about that. But something my sister-in-law told me, and my mother always used to say this too. She said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And when I hear that, that means, don't, like in my singleness, right? For example, I should be dating.
Mm-hmm.
Not right, not putting attention on one person, because that's when you develop feelings for people. And if you're trying to figure it out, you don't need to be focused on one person. Like, that is the dumbest thing ever. Now that I know, I mean, it took all this time for me to realize that, and it's not a bad thing. People say, well, because you're a woman, people are taking you out to dinner, spending money on you, and blah blah blah. Okay.
That's the perks of being a woman. So what? I think people that have a problem, because I hear people talk about, gender roles and this and that. people that have a problem with whatever role, quote unquote, kind of tells me that you don't feel like you're capable of being successful in your role. You're a man, you do what men do. I'm a woman, I do what women do. So, you know.
Keisha says, keep your mind on your money and your money.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. My advice to this woman is to really take a step back. I mean, you know, one of the things that I pride myself in is that I cannot be bought. You can't buy me.
Right.
Mm-mm. That is a trap from the enemy, y'all. That is a trick. You have to put yourself in the position that you can't be bought. Now, all those purses, you may want some purse, whatever, but is it worth selling your freedom, your soul, having relations with somebody because for what?
For a bag.
For a bag. Go for a freaking cell phone bill. Bye. I'm not doing it. I'm just not. I mean, I guess we're all different. But anyway. Okay, guys, we thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.